What if that pain, yes, that pain, that greatest pain that you felt was actually the soil for you to breed your purpose in life?
So I started the business in 2015. So I have this friend, and we used to host friends at the house. So we'd do like a 2-3 course meal, and then would invite friends over. They would bring drinks, and then would play board games. Then we started to think. She actually brought the idea. I was like, we could do this as a business. Most people were like, oh, cool, it's fine. And then there's this guy. They just looked at me and I was like, Martha, you're smarter than this. Down the line, I started thinking, I hadn't seen Akara in Abuja. So we can also have Akara, take it out from the street and bring it into a home, have a place where people can go to eat.
I always tell people when I'm coaching, I say, there is something you have that you can mine out of. There is something you have that is like a gold mine.
We've had to close out multiple times. I can't even count. Before now, it's we're closed as many times as we'd been open. The demolition at the Akara Cafe, it completely crushed me. So there's also been little moments that spark me up and make me feel okay, there is something. And now I'm glad that it happened because I wouldn't have gotten here as fast. Accept help. I take it personally when people say, oh, Nigerians are bad people. People have been really good to me, strangers. So when you're asking for some amount of money that seems like a lot, it's what are you looking for, millions to sell? But I knew exactly what this was. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew that it would work. So first of all, I think you need to think about it. Do you really want to do this? Because you have to be fully invested.
Like I said, and I always say, we are stewards of our day. What have you done with today? What have you done today? What if that pain, yes, that pain, that greatest pain that you felt was actually the soil for you to breed your purpose in life? Think about that moment where you lost it all, where it felt like everything was falling apart, where you were choosing to either end it all or start from rock bottom or confused completely about what to do. And somewhere down the line, maybe a year, 2 months, 6 months after, you realize that looking back, that pain was what all you needed to grow to the next level where you are now. The topic we're treating today on Minding Your Tomorrow is turning challenges into catalysts of growth. And I would not be talking about this topic alone. If you're just joining this channel, my name is Choma Ezani, and this is Minding Your Tomorrow. And this is the channel where we talk about everything growth, your vision, your purpose in life, finding your purpose, understanding your path, and knowing how to navigate it. Today, I am not alone. I am with one of my favorite people. Yes, she said, I said it. I am with a lady who I call Strength, the CEO of Akara Cafe. She is one person that if resilience was somebody's name, it would be her name. I am talking of no other person than Martha Rrazi. Hi, Martha.
Hi, Choma.
Welcome.
Hello.
It's so good to have
Thank you.
on Minding Your Tomorrow.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, so like I said, Martha is the CEO of Akara Cafe, and Akara Cafe is one of my favorite eating spots in Abuja. Not just because it's a beautiful and excellent place, and not just because it's from my friend and a beautiful idea, but because I have seen her grow. I watched her grow. And then I watched life tear her down. And she picked herself back up. But let me not jump so hard into it. Let us hear from the horse's mouth itself. Martha, can you tell us first about you, and then subsequently about the major challenge that you faced and how it's helped your personal growth?
Thank you. Thank you again for having me. And thank you for before I start anything, for your patronage and your support over the years. You've always been there come anything that we're doing. If I say, oh, Shama, you'll show up with people even. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. I loved it. It's a family for me.
Yes. So about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my name is Martha,
Yes.
and I run Akara Cafe. I usually just say I'm a staff. I work at Akara Cafe. It gets sometimes a little intimidating when like I see like the crowd, people who show up, and so people like, so when I even go there like work or something, I just want to like slink in the back and just do what I came to do. It's a bit intimidating sometimes, and I have to remind myself to like accept the
growth.
It's where we are like just bold, because it's also something that I think sometimes women would kind of like want to like make ourselves small but yeah, so embrace all of it, and gratitude. I'm really grateful for how far we've come. So I started the business in 2015 and initially, so I haven't shared this before, but so I have this friend and we used to host friends at the house. So we'd do like a 2-3 course meal, and then would invite friends over. They would bring drinks, and then would play board games. There's a particular game, Articulate, or like other games. So we'd play board games. So then we started to think, she actually brought the idea. I was like, we could do this as a business, and would host events like like dinner things for people in their houses. So like just little fancy stuff, would get all this like fine china and like set up the thing. And so like, okay, so I like to survey. So I started asking, and she too, like just asking people, what do you think about this? How's this going to go? And then most people were like, oh, cool, it's fine. And then there's this guy, he just looked at me and like just I was like, Martha, you're smarter than this. Like, think of something. What do you mean? What's what?
Wow.
It was harsh. And then it was until he said that I actually really thought about it, and I started to see how he was right. Like, this isn't sustainable. This isn't. And so I didn't know how to like. So I went to my friend to be like, that's this. So I was beating around the bush, and so she was like, so what I said, she was like, her brother too told her. Her brother too told her like, what are you doing? So that guy, he was like, think of something. Like, you're smarter than, like, think of something. And I mean, down the line, like I started thinking, like I hadn't seen Akara in Abuja since I came, because I came to Abuja for service, and I was like, I hadn't seen Akara in Abuja. And as at home in Calabar, I grew up in Calabar and come from Calabar. Yeah. At home, we used to have like these women, Saturday mornings especially, like these women would hawk Akara and raw pap. So people would buy, and like you make the pap at home and buy Akara and stuff. So I was like, I hadn't seen Akara in Abuja. So until then, I started asking, and people were showing me like street corners where people would buy, where people could go to buy, like, you know, like street corners where they. So I thought, I was like, you have all these like pizza huts and like cool places. These are like traditional foods of these places that they've made into like a thing. So we can also have like Akara, like take it out from the street and like bring it into a home, like have a place where people can go to eat Akara. And Nigerians sometimes tend to get, so it's like, it's not fancy Akara, just the same good traditional roadside Akara. It's just that you're sitting indoors, like, and then we can export this and make this, because that was the height of like some small chops. That was the height of like when small chops really became a thing. So I was like, all the small chops tray, we have samosa and all the spring rolls, things from other places, yes, that it's now like a global thing. So I'm like, we can have Akara. Then puff puff was even very popular in small chop stuff. So I was like, we can have Akara. And so yeah, so that's how basically the idea came, and I started to research, and yeah.
Wow. One of the things that I heard you say there was that it was just a thing inside the house that you and your friends, you can make this thing, and then you host, and then they bring drinks. And then I always tell people when I'm coaching, I say, there is something you have that you can mine out of. there is something you have that is like a gold mine, and then you're sitting down looking for those great, gigantic, fantastic, big ideas. But guess what? All you need sometimes is that little thing that you're very good at, that you do inside your house, and it will just blow out of proportion. Wow, that is amazing, Martha. What has been your biggest challenge running Akara Cafe? Okay, that laughter, I recognize it.
Because I can't even say one thing that has been the biggest challenge. It's been
A lot of things.
different things at different points. When I started, I didn't know how to fry akara when I started.
Oh wow.
I'd learned from YouTube. I'd watched YouTube videos, and so I'm very particular. So I'd done all of the theory. I'd read up on stuff. I'd done, okay, if you do this, do that. But then I tried to fry it one time. I was like, I'll just hire people to do the frying. I was just going to run the business aspect of it, which did not really work out because that's not the way business works. You need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, there was, first of all, there was money problems. So this really started small.
Yeah.
I just thought, okay, I'm just going to get a cart, and then people, so kind of like the road sellers, but a nicer, a food cart. So it's nicer, and you can come in. So I was ordering the cart from China. And because people had said, oh, you can make something locally, but I couldn't find what I was. So I was ordering the cart from China. And the what they call the shipping guy, someone had introduced me to their shipping agent. And so I was like, what would be the cost of clearing and what? And I think he told me, it will pass 150 or something like that. So I was like, okay. At the time the container came, it had already acquired, by the time they called me from the port, I had already accrued demurrage of over 200, 250K. So I called the guy. I was very angry. I'm like, I don't understand. If you had told me this, I wouldn't have bought this.
Okay, so you actually bought it?
Yes, I paid for the cost of clearing and shipping was actually higher than the cost of the actual food cart. So that was first challenge. I could not. The thing was, this was Christmas period. So the thing was there. I just got to a point. I was like, I can't keep myself. So there was that challenge. Then there was a time when the business started. As I said, I didn't really know how to fry a car. So hiring people, staffing was a huge, so different challenges. But I think the most significant, so I can't even say that because I feel like every challenge has led me to the next stage of growth. So this happened, I didn't know how to do this, and then because that forced me to learn to do, and then it pushed me to the next level. So every time we've had to close out multiple times. I can't even count. Before now, it's we're closed as many times as we've been open. So different things, but it would just keep pushing me to. So I think the most significant, I guess I should say, was the demolition at the Akara Cafe. It completely just crushed me.
Yeah.
Especially because we had been closed down before then, and it was a year, we'd be closed 1 year, 6 months, 7 months. So the last time we're closed, the owner of the place, the manager of the place where we're at, she basically ran us out of the place. Just bad, just not nice. Not even I don't want to go into details, but she was just very unpleasant and wasn't helpful at all. Mean, really mean.
Wow.
So eventually, because the day she locked the place, the first time she increased the salary, she increased the rent by 150%.
Wow.
Without any notice.
Wow.
And so I tried to manage. She was like, so I was like, okay, let's pay. And then when that rent, because we're paying 3 months or so, before the rent was due, she had locked the place up. So I was like, but it's not even, so I just figured let me just rest. So after that, it took 7 months or so when then I got invited. So my friend saw this British Council accelerator, something that you apply for. So she sent it to me, and then I applied and I got selected. So there's also been little moments that spark me up and make me feel like, okay, this thing is not so, there is something. Because when someone getting selected for that British Council thing, made me feel like at least someone else is seeing
what I'm doing.
The vision. Someone else identifies. Because sometimes you just think, I had friends who were even like, leave this thing now, this thing is not working. So it made me feel like this vision that I'm seeing, they see it enough to put me on this platform. So after that program, I learned a lot from it. And so I learned about crowdfunding. So I decided, okay, instead of asking for money, sometimes people can be skeptical to give money. So let me make a list of the items that I want, and then people can donate items. So that was successful. People donated. So it was that cafe. So I felt like this was community effort. I felt like everybody owned a piece of the cafe. So when that place was demolished, it just really crushed me, because like just everybody's effort, it really crushed me. And it was my staff, Faith, because she was there. Then I was like cooking. It was just me who was cooking. She was a kitchen assistant at the time. So when they came to do the demolition, they were like, we should start taking our things out. I said they should break down, they should crush with everything, because I just felt like, where am I going? Where am I packing it? I was like, no problem, that they should just scatter everything. So they were waiting for, like, literally, so that's what they would wait for you to take out your things, because it's not really you they're against. It's like the structure is not supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. So she just started picking things one by one. She gave me the strength. She just started taking things out one by one. I just saw her and I got up and I joined her and we just started taking things out. And so once I got past that initial, like I got to the point where this demolition is going to happen, there's nothing. And then I just started thinking, I was like, okay, hit the ground running. Don't wait too long. Because the thing with business, every time that we've closed, coming back is like starting afresh. So yeah, that was the most significant, I would say, just because of everybody's effort. And then that's used to come there. So just like the family, the community that we'd built, like, so it was very personal to me, the community, the people, and everybody was very helpful. Like everybody was angry on my behalf. People were making posts and was like, what is this country just... So that was,
Wow. So I can tell from the way you were talking about it that it's still very... I
remember it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it happened now. I'm glad that it happened because I wouldn't have gotten here as fast.
Yes.
Because it was nice. It was comfortable. I would have just been going, doing my small Akara and just been going small. So I wouldn't have gotten here. I mean, I would have gotten here because I always had this vision, but it wouldn't have
as fast.
It literally propelled me. Because after that, so this place is closed and I tried to do the pop-up, you remember, at Tiki Cultures. Mm-hmm. So I've had, and this is another thing, I think people like embrace, like accept help and build, like people have been I couldn't have come this far without, people have been very good to me. I mean, yes, there's been small, but so when people say, so I take it personally when people say, oh, Nigerians are bad people, say all of these things like it happened in Nigeria. People have been really good to me. Strangers especially, because I mean, like when your friend helps you, you feel like they're your friend, they should help you. Yeah. But strangers for no reason. So people helped me. So a friend, they're running tickets, so she was like, oh, no problem, like come use the space. And so that's held the community for a while. Remember, we used to go to Tiki, and then that wasn't very sustainable. So I found this place. I needed money as well because the business was going well, but like we didn't have savings. The business was just managing itself, because this was like about not up to a year since we started. So I needed money afresh, and people had planned people were eager to invest because it was going. People saw that people liked the idea and like it was going. But then, so I don't know, maybe this is even the bigger challenge or the next bigger challenge. Then COVID happened.
Oh yeah.
So everybody wanted to keep their money where if they needed to run, they could pack them. So talking about business investments, like first of all, people were trying to survive. So it was difficult finding investments. It was a really dark period. So I don't even know which one was worse, the demolition. It was a dark period trying to, so I had to even take my son to be with my mom because I couldn't afford anything. I couldn't afford myself. I couldn't afford anything. So I struggled, but the business was still open. So I was just cooking from home and going. And that same COVID was there 2020. So that same year. And then so I started doing cold calls.
Yeah.
I would just send, at first, I would, because the previous, one other time that had been closed, I would write letters to all the companies that we use their stuff, like oil companies, like that produce cooking oil, sugar companies. So anything that we made, I don't want to call brand names, but like everything, like tea, all of those things, I'd reach out to them. Nobody answered me. So this time around, I thought, okay, let me just make cold calls. So I just sent message on my social media. I just sent messages to people. I'm looking for such and such amount, and if you would be interested, or if there's somebody, you or anybody you know, I was just sending people messages. Everybody. I did not want to think, okay, maybe this person does not have money, and this person. I was just sending also to people who I thought would understand like business, or at least restaurant, because like people, when other times when I'd sent to like people introduced me to like investors. They just felt like, it's Akara. Why do you need all this money to fry Akara? So I just thought, let me send to people who are like in restaurant business. I reached out to even other restaurants and who I knew or was familiar with the owners. I reached out to them to ask, like, would they like to invest and and from those cold calls, randomly, like some person responded and started a conversation, and she came on board, said she was going to invest, and then she got other people. So it just happened, like it was very reassuring.
What I'm hearing, so you keep saying it just happened. It didn't just happen. You were resilient. You refused to give up. Life was hitting you left, right, and center. If I hear you correctly, you did cold call. If I hear you correctly, you sent mails. If I hear you correctly, you did not say no. You refused to take no for an answer. For crying out loud, they demolished your community. You went to ticket culture. You went to ticket culture and it wasn't working. You did cold call. So there was never a time you kept quiet. And that brings me to my next question. What was going on in your mind? What was that why so strong that with all these challenges going on, you didn't say for 1 minute, I'm done. Pause. You know what? This Akara is not for me. I dust my CV. I want to get a job. Because I know you. You're a bright, talented, interesting, intelligent young woman. You can work wherever you want. So you did not say, oh no, I'm done. I dust up my CV. Let me go look for a job somewhere. You kept at it. What was going on in your mind?
I actually did try to get a job, but like I wasn't. So I'll just someone who sent me the application stuff. So I'll just send the CV, but I wasn't. It was half-hearted because like I really just wanted to. So any opportunities that was okay, it was something that would give me time to figure my business out. So it's like I knew inside me that this would work. I knew what I was doing. I knew that I'm like, so it used to frustrate me at first. Like if I was trying to explain to someone I did this, it's like like I used to get really passionate, and then I chilled out because I'm like, not everybody's going to. People see clearly when it is
very obvious.
Already there, right?
Yeah.
So this thing that you're explaining, you know, because how much is Akara? Because people are thinking like, how much is Akara? How much are you going to sell to? All this. So when you're asking for some amount of money that seems like a lot, it's like, what are you looking for? $1 million to sell Akara? So, but I knew exactly what this was. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew that it would work. And that also used to read. I used to read a lot about, because when I get like, I'll just get frustrated and I'll think, okay, it's Nigeria, like this kills dreams and what. But then I started watch at different points of like our close down and stuff, like different things motivated me, different things pulled me through that period. There was a time when everything was just frustrating, and my brother-in-law, he was like, so he sent me a flight. He was like, like just drop everything and just come and leave the bit. Because, which was also really good, because sometimes you need to just remove yourself.
Yeah.
You need to just remove yourself.
Yeah.
Recalibrate, like get yourself together. Like first of all, pause. Mm-hmm. Calm down, get your, how they zen. Find your peace. Just calm down first. Stop. And then, so every time I had those pauses, I would get more clarity.
Yeah.
I'd get, because the business, I mean, it wasn't all for, I knew what I wanted to do, but I mean, it grew, it took shape, certain things fell out. It was like, okay, this isn't working. So each time it was like reiteration. So every time, each process, so if I tried this, it's like, okay, maybe turn it this way. But like the core thing was Akara as niche. And the conversation with the other lady there was, people would keep saying, I was like, Indomie they sell, I didn't do me. Shawarma they sell, but I didn't, because I knew exactly. So I modeled the business after Starbucks. So Starbucks is a one product. So now it took a long time before they start adding this. So it's like, this is the niche that I'm serving. Yes, so you can serve other things that a company that go around that, yes, but not to completely remove yourself from that. So then I used to watch, so I started reading about other like business, restaurant businesses, restaurant franchises and stuff, and saw how, so it was then that I dropped that perception of Nigeria is killing my dream. When I see people in America, in Europe, in Afghanistan, starting a business, like they failed, and food businesses especially. I read about like the McDonald's brothers, was it McDonald's? How, yes, they started business, they got duped. Like, so it reassured me, like this wasn't personal. Yeah. It's just the process. It's just the process. You have to, and that process really taught me like different parts of the business, different parts of myself, different. So I even tell people, like if I had gotten money earlier, sooner, I wouldn't have been this successful.
I agree with you. I couldn't have agreed more, because a lot of people will say, all I need is so and so amount of money to start my business. And I keep telling them, no, you need to learn to walk before you learn to run. So you haven't handled 100,000 naira. What makes you think you can handle 1 million? You need to understand, first of all, how to make 100,000. You need to be able to strategize, know how to strategize to make 100,000 before you can, from 100,000, increase your capacity and strategize further to know how to make 1 million.
For instance, I just remembered something. Before that British Council thing, I was pricing wrongly. Yeah. My pricing, because I was trying to stay competitive with like street sellers, but they were not paying rent. They were not incurring all the costs that I was. So that event, it wasn't even something they taught it within the program. At the end of the program, they did like a mixer, and then they invited like business experts, like HR people. And so there was a lady that I met, and that's the thing that stayed with me since. She told me, she was like, put your price. If you provide the value, people will pay. Yeah. Set your price. Because I was just afraid. I was like, oh, if I put this, so I was pricing wrongly. So I couldn't even scale. So imagine you got that capital and you put it in, and then you're pricing wrong. You're not even going to get out the money that you put. So all of these lessons and things, like with every stage of growth, which for some people, the journey may not be so long. Yeah. For some people, you understand. And then, or if you have a mentor, as it said, or you work in, if there's another restaurant brand that you or CEO or somebody, that you can,
modeling your.
So the journey may not be this process, may not take this long, but it's just really the process that you have to.
I agree with you. Go in. It is the process. Process is the process. Let it take its course, but learn to grow from it. Know when to, restructure. There's something you said, which is something I advise all the time. You don't have to wait to be beaten down by life before you retreat, right? Take a 3 months retreat, take a 6 months retreat, take a 1 year retreat. You don't have to wait for life to beat you down before you say, okay, pause. How did I even get here in the first place? What am I doing with my life? But at every point in time, if you try to reassess yourself and say, what am I doing? Am I in course? Where am I? Am I drifting out? Then you can retrace without being hit by life completely. Thank you so much, Martha. Thank you. It's been such an incredible time. Like, I would have this conversation over and over again without pausing. However, before you leave, I want you to look at the camera and say something to somebody out there who is struggling, who has been listening to you and wondering how they should do it. I am here, I'm struggling with life. I'm struggling with this business. I'm trying to get it off the ground. And it looks like life is hitting me down, on and on again. Say something.
First of all, it's tough. So even with money, it's tough. It's going to be tough if you really want to do what you're doing. Because sometimes we think we want to do something. So first of all, I think you need to think about it. Do you really want to do this? Because you have to be fully invested. It's going to be tough. It's going to seem like, the times when it seems like everything is going against you. That's when to take the break, I should say. But just know that it's going to be tough, but it's worth it in the end. Really worth it in the end. So just hold tight and also be open to modification. So not to gear from to steer too far away from where you're going or what you want to do, but sometimes like slight modifications. Okay, tweak here, a little tweak here and there, a little tweak there. Yeah, good. But just stay steadfast.
I am just admiring her. She's just a darling. It is so heartwarming and amazing to see young women who are thriving in their different spheres of life. And it's not because they don't have challenges. It's not because, just being a woman in this part of the world is challenging enough, but they wake up every day and decide to win the day. Like I said, and I always say, we are stewards of our day. What have you done with today? What have you done today? And that's all we can take today on Minding Your Tomorrow. And I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed yourself watching Martha, hearing her, and just, thinking about yourself as well to see how you can navigate with the situation you're dealing with. Until next time, when I bring you yet another beautiful topic and we look at something else entirely, or just another guest here, another person talk about their life and how they have navigated their struggles. My name is Chioma Ezani, and this is Minding Your Tomorrow.